Alrighty, well, good afternoon. Okay, folks, this is the cannon firing. I think we need to be a little bit more enthusiastic. Let's try that again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, that was much better, thank you. My name is Brett, and I would like to welcome you here to the upper gun platform today. Joining me over here is Chuck. Everyone say, hey, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
Hi, folks.
We'll be showing you folks how to clean, load, prime, and fire our Model 1841 6-pound field cannon. Now, does anyone know why we call this a 6-pound cannon? Shout it out. Always 6 pounds, exactly right. We could fire that 6-pound cannonball up to 1 mile away. For your reference, it's just past the shores of Round Island over there. But I have no idea where that ball would land. Incredibly inaccurate at its maximum range. More accurate distance is about half of a mile. At the end of the stone break walls out there, but it's still not terribly accurate. That just meant that we could hit a 100-foot stationary target, maybe 1 out of 3 times. We're considered an excellent cannon crew. Unfortunately for me and Chuck, we're not actually firing a cannonball for you here today. I know that's kind of a disappointment. You can all say, oh. I know, we'd love nothing more than to fire that cannonball for you, but we just can't. For a couple of reasons. One is safety. You know, there's a lot of boats out there. I'm sure you folks would not have appreciated a cannonball coming through your ferry today. We don't want to ruin anyone else's vacation. But actually, our biggest reason is that it was historically inaccurate. Soldiers in the 1880s weren't firing cannonballs either. Does anyone remember what year I said this cannon was? 1841, exactly right. So that meant that in the 1880s, the United States saw fit to send us 40-year-old cannons. Might tell you something about Fort Mackinac military importance, or lack thereof. The reason for that is because at the time, we were a national park, and not too many people attack national parks. National parks don't attack very many people. We just have cannons here to fire off ceremonial salutes, which we did pretty regularly. We'd fire every morning when reveille was played and the flags were raised. Fire every evening at sunset, which ended the workday and the flags were lowered. And then we'd fire for special holidays like Memorial Day or the 4th of July, things of that nature. So we're going to show you one of those salutes here today. Generally, to fire one of those, you'd have 3 soldiers come up here. As you can see, we're a little short-staffed. So I can use a volunteer. How about you right here? Come on up here. Alrighty, what is your name? Nice to meet you, Michaela. I'm Brett. What hand do you write with? Right. Well, can I see your left hand just in case anything goes wrong? All right. Come on up here. You see this hole on top of the cannon? I want you to cover that up nice and tight there with that pad. Wonderful. Now this position is called thumb stalling. And what's going on here is she's making sure that no air gets in or out of the breech of the cannon during the cleaning process, which makes things a lot more efficient and quite a bit safer. Now, the first tool we have to clean out our cannon is called a gunner's worm or auger. This is a double corkscrew device that we run down the cannon barrel to scrape out any solid debris that might be left from a previous firing. The reason we want to get that out of there is because it can start to build up, and it's hard to put a new charge in. Also, there might be sparks left on that debris. The last thing the truck wants to do is load in a new charge on live sparks. It could be a pretty bad afternoon for him. Alright, now that we've got that debris out of there, we're going to move on to the next tool, which is called a wet swab. This is essentially a large, dirty, wet Q-tip. We dunk it in a bucket of water, run that down the barrel as well. This extinguishes sparks in 2 ways. One, because it's wet, and fire and water don't generally mix. And the other way, heard that nice thunk there when he pulled it out. That meant that we created a vacuum seal inside the cannon. If there's a vacuum, there's no sparks, because it deprives them of oxygen. Now we should be safe to go. How you doing back here? Good. Well, can you take your fingers off there for me? Can you turn around and just give everyone a big thumbs up for me? She's done a fantastic job. We'll give her a round of applause, folks. All right. Now I'm going to continue to thumb stall while Chuck loads in our charge, which is 3 ounces of black gunpowder wrapped in historically accurate Reynolds aluminum foil. Now, in the 1880s, we would have been using a cotton muslin cloth, but that could send burning cloth into Father Marquette Park today. Not particularly safe. And so now we're going to seat that down with a crook safety ramrod. You'll notice there's a bend in the design that allows Chuck to stand off to the side. Now, in the 1880s, we didn't have that. We just had a straight ramrod. That would force him to put his body right in front of the barrel of the cannon, pounding down on live gunpowder. Again, not very safe. Now our charge is seated. We are ready to roll our cannon into firing position. Now Chuck is going to move around to the rear of the cannon and actually pierce open our charge using a brass vent pick or a gimlet. And the reason he's doing that is to expose the powder inside our charge to a spark created by one of our tiny little ignition devices. Now our ignition devices today are called a friction primer. It's a small brass tube filled with black gunpowder, topped with a friction-sensitive material and a pin. Cross between, let's say, a strike-anywhere match and a grenade. So this sparks very easily, so we're going to pull this pin out using a lanyard. And then that will create a spark and send it shooting down to ignite our charge. And that will be your folks' salute here today. So we are getting pretty close to just about ready to fire here. This will be a little bit loud. So if you'd like to locate nature's earplugs, they're located right here at the end of your index fingers. Just insert like so. We're just about ready to go. So with that, folks, there are just 2 commands to fire this cannon. And they are ready, fire! And there's your folks' cannon salute to welcome you here to the Army today. If here is interested, another one of our interpreters, Craig, will be leading a short walking tour. He's going to focus today on the national park, our nation's 2nd national park, Mackinac Island National Park. And if you'd like to go down and listen to that, feel free to head down these stairs behind you and he'll be waiting at the bottom. Thanks for coming up, folks, and have a wonderful day.